Hello everyone. In case you don't remember, my name is Christina Pitts and I am an occupational therapy student at the University of St. Augustine. This is video 5 out of 6 regarding developmental milestones. Before we begin, I just want it to be noted that I am a student and not a licensed practitioner. Today I will be discussing the typical developmental milestones for social-emotional skills in addition to some red flags that might indicate a concern. This area of development involves learning to interact with other people and to understand and control your own emotions. Babies start to develop relationships with the people around them right from birth, but the process of learning to communicate, share, and interact with others takes many years to develop. Developing the ability to control your emotions and behavior is also a long process. Children continue to develop their social-emotional skills well into their teenage years or even young adulthood. Between the ages of 0 and 3 months, a baby will typically see clearly within 13 inches from his or her face, be comforted by a familiar adult, respond positively to touch, quiet when picked up, listen to voices, and smile and show pleasure in response to social stimulations. Between the ages of 3 and 6 months, a baby will typically give warm smiles and laughs, recognize faces, cry when upset and seek comfort, show excitement by waving arms and legs, notice a difference between two people based on the way they look, sound, or feel, smile at him or herself in the mirror, enjoy looking at other babies, pay attention to his or her own name, and laugh aloud. Between the ages of 6 and 9 months, a baby will typically express several different clear emotions, play games like peekaboo, be upset if they lose a toy, respond to you when you talk to him or her or make gestures, start to understand your different emotions. For example, your baby might frown when you speak in an angry voice, show more comfort around familiar people and anxiety around strangers, and possibly comfort him or herself by sucking their thumb or holding a special toy or blanket. Red flags for social-emotional development for 9 months. If you notice some of the following things by the time your baby is 8 to 9 months old, you may want to talk to your doctor or to another health professional. Your child is not responding to sounds, is not smiling or responding to you the way you expect, avoids close contact or cuddling, is inconsolable at night, can't seem to self-soothe or calm him or herself, or has no interest in games like peekaboo. Between the ages of 9 and 12 months, a child will typically show happiness to see his or her parent's face, his or her toys, or a mirror, know strangers from his or her family and cry when his or her parent goes away, give affection and love, pay attention to simple commands such as no and give it to me, respond by turning to look when you call his or her name, imitate some of your actions, such as waving or pretending to talk on the phone, have fear with new situations, and understand the word no but will not always obey. Red flags for social-emotional development for 12 months or 1 year. If you notice some of the following things by the time your baby is 12 months or 1 year old, you may want to talk to your doctor or to another health professional. He or she is not showing interest in other children their age, does not respond to you the way you expect them to, has extreme difficulty waiting for something that he or she wants, is very rigid about routine, food items, clothing, etc., has limited or fleeting eye contact with others, does not imitate any of your actions, does not respond when you call his or her name, or doesn't take turns in a simple turn-taking game such as peekaboo or chase. Between the ages of 12 and 24 months, or 1 and 2 years, a child will typically recognize him or herself in the mirror or a photograph and smile or make faces at him or herself, begin to say no to bedtime and other requests, imitate adults' actions and words, understand words and commands and respond to them, hug and kiss parents, familiar people, and pets, bring things to show other people, begin to be helpful around the house, begin to feel jealousy when he or she is not the center of attention, show frustration easily, They may play next to another child, but they won't really share until 3 or 4 years of age. They'll typically be able to play alone for a few minutes, react to changes in daily routines, share a piece of food, develop a range of emotions, so they may have tantrums or show aggression by biting, and start to assert independence by preferring to try to do things by myself without help. Red flags for social emotional development for 24 months or 2 years. If you notice some of the following things by the time your child is 18 to 24 months old or 1.5 to 2 years old, you may want to talk to your doctor or to another health professional. Doesn't imitate other people, constantly moves from one activity to another and is not able to stay at an activity for brief periods, requires constant attention to stay at an activity, doesn't show any interest in other children, doesn't show things to other people, is extremely rigid about routines, becoming extremely upset when they are changed, is too passive and doesn't want to try things other children his or her age are doing, or has extreme difficulty waiting for items that he or she wants. Between the ages of 2 and 3 years, or 24 and 36 months, a child will typically be assertive about what he or she wants and say no to adult requests, start to show awareness of his or her own feelings and others' feelings, have rapid mood shifts, show more fear in certain situations, such as in the dark, become shy and may start to whine, possibly become aggressive and frustrated easily, not like change, want independence but still need security of their parents, need an ordered, predictable routine, especially when saying goodbye to their parents, watch other children and play and join them briefly, defend his or her possessions, begin to play house, begin to separate more easily from his or her parents, and begin to show empathy to other children. That means responding to their feelings. Red flags for social emotional development for 36 months or 3 years. If you notice some of the following things by the time your child is 36 months or 3 years old, you may want to talk to your doctor or to another health professional. He or she is not interested in pretend play, has extreme difficulty separating from parents, is not starting or responding to simple interactions with other children, is showing abnormal aggression, shows extreme fear that interferes with daily activities, or is extremely rigid about routines. Between the ages of 36 and 48 months, or 3 and 4 years, a child will typically share toys, taking turns with help, initiate or join and play with other children and make up games, follow simple rules in games but will always want to win, begin dramatic play, acting out whole scenes such as traveling or pretending to be animals, might be bossy and defiant, shows more independence, experiences a broad range of emotions such as jealousy, excitement, fear, happiness, or anger, becomes less egocentric, be more even-tempered and cooperative with parents, and may show attachment to one friend. Red flags for social-emotional development for 48 months or 4 years. If you notice some of the following things by the time your child is 48 months or 4 years old, you may want to talk to your doctor or to another health professional. He or she is not able to initiate or join and play with other children, is not able to share it all with other children, wants to be dependent on caregivers for everything, is extremely rigid about routines and becomes extremely upset when things are changed, has extreme difficulty separating from parents, is too passive or fearful and does not want to try things other children his or her age are doing, or has extreme fears that interfere with daily activities. Between the ages of 4 and 5 years, a child will typically show some awareness of moral reasoning, such as fairness and good or bad behavior, develop friendships, express more awareness of other people's feelings, enjoy imaginative play with other children, such as dress up or house, get better at sharing and taking turns with other children, enjoy playing games but might change the rules as he or she goes, stick with a difficult task for a longer period, controlling frustration or anger better, show an understanding of right and wrong, listen while others are speaking, and play games with simple rules. Red flags for social emotional development for 5 years. If you notice some of the following things by the time your child is 5 years old, you may want to ask for help from a doctor or from another health professional. He or she is not interested in playing with other children, is not able to share or take turns with other children, wants to be dependent on caregivers for everything, is extremely rigid about routines and becomes extremely upset when things are changed, has extreme difficulty separating from parents, is too passive or fearful and does not want to try things other children his or her age are doing, or has extreme fears that interfere with daily activities. Between the ages of 5 and 7 years, a child will typically measure his or her performance against others, feel more comfortable spending time at other places without parents, such as a relative's or a friend's house, continue to develop his or her social skills by playing with other children in a variety of situations, be able to communicate with others without parents' help, possibly want to be around parents more at age 5 than at age 4, but by age 8, he or she will probably prefer being around his or her peers, and start to feel sensitive about how other children feel about him or her. Red flags for social emotional development for school-age children. If you have some of the following concerns, you may want to ask for help from your child's teacher. Your teacher may recommend that you seek further help from your doctor or another health professional. He or she is not interested in playing with other children, is not able to share or take turns with other children, is extremely rigid about routines and becomes extremely upset when things are changed, has extreme difficulty separating from parents, is too passive or fearful and does not want to try things other children his or her age are doing, or has extreme fears that interfere with daily activities.